Okay, this is just a video about using unnamed and named images in Xara's published websites. There seems to be some conflict of interest or conflict of opinion about what they are, so I thought I'd just add my little bit. Let's just start then. I'll delete that title, and what I'm going to do is go File, Import, and I'm just going to import an image which is going to be this one here, single rows, and it comes in, and if I look at the bitmap gallery, it's 1920 by 1280. I don't want it that big, but let me just say this is I'm using Xara Designer Pro 12 or 365 here. I want to bring that out. This is a 960 template. I'm going to bring that out too. Let's make it 940. And just to fill the screen size. So it's imported and it's called single rows JPEG. Now I'm going to publish it and view it in Firefox. So we go to publish. I'm going to the Firefox, and there's that image. If I right click on it and go to view image info, it gives me all the image info on that page, and there's only three. That's the pasteboard background color, that's the page background with the shadow effect, and this is the single rows JPEG, but you'll now notice it's no longer called single rows, it's called 149 JPEG. And each time we publish it, depending what you've changed on the page, that number might get altered all the time. So I can understand some people, and myself in particular, liking to use named colors. But before we go any further than that, I'll just shut that down, minimize that, shut that down. Okay, so we've got there. Now there seems to be some confusion. That if I was to clone this, let's go down, and what I'll need to do is lengthen this page considerably. Go back up here, Control K to clone it, and slowly move it down the page until if I go into view page content, I've got these two images here, and people seem to believe that those two images, although exactly the same, will be given different names, and that's not true. Let's go back to 100% zoom, and again let's publish it. Look at it in Firefox, right click over it, view image info, and you can see that there's still only three files. One is the pasteboard background color, one is the page background color with a shadow, and one is just one image, 149 JPEG, but of course the page actually has two images. So it's not creating two different names, it's not creating two different ones, and that works exactly the same if you duplicate it on other pages as well. That will rename that same number, whichever the arbitrary number that Xara gives it when you publish. Okay, now what I want to do is look and see what happens if we start using name colors. I'll delete. Why can't I? Okay, sorry about that, got a bit lost there. We're going to start looking at name colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that second clone that I made earlier on. So we're just back now to this single image. I'm going to select it, go up to the name icon thing, and I'm going to call this file name equals, and I'll just call it rows, and go add. This just changes it, so now it's just going to, this image is going to be called rows.jpg throughout, and so let's publish it and have a look what happens here. Look at it in Firefox. This time there's only the one because I deleted the other one. If I right click over it and go view image info, again you've got only 3 images. One's the background, the pasteboard background color, one's the page background, and one is called this time Rose JPEG. So it's actually been given a name, and if I duplicate that as well as I did previously, that will always be called, will also be called Rose JPEG and won't be duplicated in the folder. So I can click off that, close that. However, what happens if we create a clone of the named image and resize it down? So let's try that. I'm going to hit Control K, and I'm going to change that down to 150 pixels. There it is down there. And what I'll do is I'll move the bigger one down, put this one up here somewhere so you can see it. Now that's still, if I look at the name gallery, that's still called Rose. If I look at that one, that's still called Rose. Close, which is fine. But when I go to publish it, and again look at it in Firefox, look what's happened. That image, if I view image info, is still called Rose JPEG, but what it actually done is exported the 150 pixel by 100 pixel, and it's scaling this up to 940 by 626, and you can see the awful quality of that image. And what's even stranger about it is that if I again republish it, this time let's go into Firefox. This time the image is nice and crisp, and if I right click over it and go view image info, it tells me that it's a 940 by 626 image and its name is Rose JPEG. Shut that down, close that, and republish. Same again. You've now got this very small image being blown up to that size. Close that down, republish, and it comes in this time as a nice crisp image. So that's why I say to people, be very wary when using named images, because it can very quickly mess up the quality of your bitmap. So I'm not saying not to use named images. It can be helpful because those name images will remain the same every time you publish the website. However, if you resize them, say, either in a single variant web page, so you've got two different versions of that image, one resized, you'll get this poor quality, good quality, poor quality. And the same if you create a variant, and obviously with a variant with a named image you're going to reduce it down, then you get these poor qualities. You either get the poor quality in the desktop one, or you get a good quality in the desktop one, but the one in the mobile version is the same as the size of the desktop version, and you're importing an image that's far too big to actually be shown on a mobile, and therefore you're creating additional download time. So I hope that helped. So this is Egg. All the best. Good night.